and wool for the moon, a wide field by the Hum River.
Coco, look who has arrived! Chief Jangun himself has come to visit after quite a while. Seems our great leader has a bit of mileage on him now. His asthma seems to be acting up again. The heat in his chest can't move downward, so it's affecting his lungs. How about an old story about asthma? Long ago, I once stayed in a village for a few days. The eldest son of the house was very ill, and his elderly mother was deeply worried. I told them his body type and showed him how to follow a body type diet. Within a few days, he was already sitting up in bed again. Then the elderly mother told me her knees were hurting too, and asked if there was a good way to help them. So, before leaving the village, I told her what her body type was too. Time passed, and I almost forgot about it. Then, one day, I heard from her again. Remembering that time, I asked, "How are your knees now?" But she said the knees weren't the problem. Well, that worried me for a moment. But listen to this. She said she had suffered from asthma for many years. After her knees improved with the body type diet, that old asthma began getting better little by little too. Imagine that. I've said it many times, haven't I? The body is one living organism. Humans and animals. How different are we really? All of us are formed by the same mechanisms of nature. Even this old grandpa is no different. How could anyone keep up with time rushing past like the wind, or with the spirit of the times? So, Chief Jangun, perhaps it's time to let the younger ones take the leader's place. And Coco, make sure you teach your big brother Jangun how to follow a body type diet so he can stay healthy. After all, isn't that the best way to grow old gracefully?
Aging gracefully. To grow old gracefully, if you asked 100 people, all 100 would say it is their wish. Yet, as the years pass, each of us gathers bits of understanding and begins to think we know something quite important about life. Even if someone has excelled in the field they have devoted themselves to, in the larger view of the world, it may still be only a small part of the whole. In our hearts, we all resolve to live in a way that suits our age. Yet when we look around, the words and actions of others easily begin to weigh on our eyes and ears. That is where the real difficulty lies. There may be no single answer in life. Yet, perhaps, as we grow older, one way is to step aside a little in worldly matters and simply take good care of our health. Emphysema, a lung condition, often seen in old age. Emphysema is a condition that develops in the alveoli and their walls. The alveoli, often called air sacs, are located at the very ends of the airways and form clusters that resemble bunches of grapes. When long-term imbalance develops in this region, emphysema can occur. At that point, the lungs lose their elasticity, remaining expanded and unable to contract properly again. This can lead to difficulty breathing and may develop into chronic bronchitis or other obstructive lung diseases. One common symptom is difficulty breathing out. As breathing becomes more difficult, the heart may begin to pound, causing anxiety. Climbing stairs becomes difficult, and a lack of oxygen can cause the lips and even the fingernails to turn a dark purple color. Various lung diseases may have different names, but they are generally believed to arise from factors such as smoking, chronic bronchitis, chronic cough, or asthma. Even so, the exact causes are still not fully understood. From the perspective of body type principles, lung diseases tend to occur most often in those of the spring type, whose lung function can easily become overactive. Occasionally, they may also appear in those of the summer type, whose chest tends to carry excess heat. The fundamental cause is usually not a single factor, but the result of long-term imbalance within the body. For this reason, it is wise to avoid foods that do not suit one's body type whenever possible. As we grow older, taking good care of our own health is also one way of helping our children.
As the years go by, you learn to see, and you're not so easily swayed through the winds and rain of passing days. Some things you come to know on your own. Wrinkles on your hands hold years, the lines on your face, badges of time. But that's not all there is. What matters most is the spirit of the age. The spirit of the age runs like the wind. Aside of our own will and make a way for the young to run free. All waters bound for the open sea are carried on by those behind. As the years go by, you learn to hear, and you're not so easily swayed. Is all that life experience so great when it simply comes with time? Even when you try to live your age, keep up with time. You think you understand in your own way, yet the spirit of the age keeps changing. The spirit of the age runs like the wind. How could you ever keep up with it? We step aside of our own will and make way for the young to run free. carried on by those